It's very, 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 very difficult to have peace of mind, because I know for me, I often say when I'm in my mind, I'm behind enemy lines. It's so much stuff going on in my head that went on in my life in the past. Some of my visions and aspirations for the future. And then when I start thinking positive about my future, oftentimes those pre-recorded voices, that chatter comes in and tries to shut it down and says, oh no, that's not going to happen. So if I would put my finger on it, when it comes to challenges, one of the greater challenges that I have is overcoming myself. And what I really learned, and it's taken me almost well over 50 years to learn this, is that in order for me to overcome my challenges, I have to ask for help from other people. Because for years I've been in the helping profession, and I've been told that I've helped a lot of people, and I appreciate them telling me that. But I oftentimes would ask myself, I have the ability to help others, but why is it that I may not be progressing at the rate that I think I should be progressing? And it was because I never learned how to ask for help. And that's been the key to help me make me have greater levels of progress in my life. And another thing that I found is that you have to set up your own criteria by which you're going to measure your success. That's so important.
Yeah, well, how do we make peace with the past? Because, we think about our ex-wife, ex-husband, our children turned on us, the boss that fired us years ago. How do we make peace with our past?
It's two things come to mind. I think about regrets, and I think about the law of forgiveness. And I've spent some time over the past 3-4 years dealing with that, because when I hit 50, I started having a lot of regrets. If I wouldn't have made this decision, well, let me back up by saying this. When I look at regrets, if I remove the blame, because it's so easy if you have some regrets about something to try to find someone other than yourself to blame. So what I had to do was remove any and everybody out of the picture and reduce and minimize the possibility of blaming, leaving the door open to blame people for those things that didn't come out, or I didn't have the desired outcome. So that helped me deal with those regrets, having regrets about a decision, because if I really looked at whatever I was having a regret about, I found out that basically what happened was it was a lesson was learned from that, and I have to ask myself, what was the lesson that was learned from that experience? And based on that experience, I can take that lesson and use that lesson as a guide for making future decisions about things that I can turn that what I think is negative information into positive information. And the second thing, I was talking about forgiveness. Some of those decisions that I made, I had to take a look at those decisions, and if I thought it was a bad decision, even though it may have had some benefit, when I started looking at it a different way, I found that if I could stop blaming myself for that decision and look at the benefit that came out of the decision and go through a process of forgiving myself and saying it's okay, you're okay, telling myself I'm okay, I made a mistake. Now, don't beat yourself up about the mistake. Look at the benefit that came out of what you're calling a mistake or an error, because I can go back and I can connect everything that I said was a mistake or an error in my life because I didn't get what I expected. I can connect that to a positive outcome in the future. So that gives me a greater opportunity to forgive myself. Why am I going to keep beating up myself about a decision I made? It was a lesson learned. And through that lesson, I was able to use that lesson as a foundation and as a guidepost so that when I was prepared to make other decisions, I could use that as a reference. Because all my personal experiences, my beliefs, my concepts, my thoughts are all based on either my own personal experiences or the experiences of others, history, law, or science.